Welcome to Growler Garage, episode, what are we up to now? Five now? Five. This is blowing my mind how successful this is, that we're now halfway to double digits. We are with a familiar guest. You may recognize him as the host of Whiskey Babble, Jake Barson.
How's it going, guys? Out there in Growler Garage Land.
Doing the Growler Garage show for the first time. I've been on your show twice
excited
now.
To be here.
So
excited to be here.
To add you over to this one. Have some fun with us over here. We joked beforehand that you're going to make the wheels fall off this, just like I've sabotaged your podcast twice now.
But that's what makes it good. You know what's funny, dude? You know what's funny is that my mom actually listened to the one with you again.
Yeah.
And she goes, I laughed so hard at that podcast. And like, for anybody that doesn't know,
it was pretty entertaining.
Well, Pat's podcast actually has a purpose.
Sort of.
Cars. Well, it has an underlying theme. Cars. Yeah. Mine has no underlying theme, so that's kind of the whole, we just fuck around and do whatever.
Yeah.
But
you know, it's fun because I've said there's two styles of podcast. I'm already learning. This is only our fifth one, but I'm already learning that there's two styles of podcasts. There's the
good
one that's informative.
Ones.
In a sense, yeah. There's the good, informative ones where
there's ones that make money,
yeah,
and then there's like,
then there's mine,
successful, and us.
I don't mean podcasts as far as shows. I mean like episodes. Like mine bounce back and forth, and yours kind of do too, in the sense that sometimes with the ridiculous, like it's completely off the wall. You're just making people laugh, and it's hilarious. But if you did it every week, it'd kind of be like, okay, this is getting old.
Yeah.
But then there's the ones where you talk to like somebody who has something fun, like actually interesting to talk about, and then next thing you know, now there's actually like an entertaining, engaging podcast where people are like, wow, I'm learning something.
Well, you know what's kind of funny is I actually get shit on the ones that are like that.
Really?
I get that people go like, it was too interviewee. It was too much like an interview. And I'm like, I like those ones.
Isn't that kind of what a podcast is?
I know. I don't know. But I'm just letting you know. That's what I've personally heard.
The zany, funny one. I hope, if we get to
now that
to
you've
Doug,
jinxed us.
That's fine. Like we can't be like I don't want to jinx. I don't have the guests lined up for our next episode quite yet. They're not signed in. They're going to be really informative, and neither of those two people drink beer, so they're going to be a little.
The hell is this?
Right. It's going to be like Growler, right?
Tell them to go back to Swedenland or wherever they're from.
It's going to be like Iced Tea Garage. And I'm really hoping to get those two on here because they have really interesting stories, but they're not going to be the ridiculousness that we've kind of got going here. So we're going to live it up while we have the chance.
Let's
right now.
Let's do it.
We've got taps again for the second week in a row.
This is a great little hef, by the way.
Hef. I know you love hefs.
Dude, thank you for remembering that.
We got a hef. Producer Matt filled me in on that, so I can't take the credit. So we got
hefs
ourselves
and IPAs.
You did? Okay.
You know what's funny is I hated IPAs, hated them. And then I went to a concert last summer and with one of the guys I work with, one of the technicians, and he goes, you drink IPAs? And I was like, no. And his whole theory behind drinking IPAs was, well, I have to buy 12 Coors to get drunk, but I pay the same price, I get 3 IPAs. And like, it wasn't about flavor, it was just about like his drunk factor, like what would, so I tried it and I was like, oh, this tastes like shit.
Right, yeah.
But then I was like, but there's something to it. So then I went and I bought a 6-pack. This was at our old apartment. I went at my wife and I's old apartment. I went and bought a 6-pack, and I was like, still horrible. That's how I remember it. and then I went and bought another 6-pack, and I was like, it's getting better. And then I bought another 6, and now I'm like, I fucking love IPAs. Like I would. Yeah. They're incredible.
I mean, yeah, that's first thing. Like first thing when you try like a craft beer or a dark beer or whatever, they're not good.
No.
And I mean, I guess that's true with beer. I guess
it's
also
definitely
in general,
acquired.
The first time you have
taste.
a beer in general, and correct me if you guys were different, I couldn't finish my first beer.
Nah.
I grabbed a Corona from my buddy's house.
Hey, you can have any beer you want.
As long as it's Corona.
As long as it's a Corona.
But I know that
Kirkland signature.
Our guest from last week, Will, is come back to kind of visit with us again this one. So if you hear anybody in the background talking about Budweiser, that's Will.
It's Will.
So that's some other voice you hear. He's there. My wife Kaylee's back there.
The old red and white.
Every episode. So he loves Budweiser. I used to drink Budweiser religiously. I loved it. And I still actually don't mind a Budweiser. I like, there it is, there's a crown on our taps. I still like a Budweiser. If you make me pick a domestic beer, it's going to be Budweiser all day. Mostly because of their NASCAR involvement.
Is it wet and is it cold? That's what I'm saying.
Damn straight.
I like my beers like I like my first dates.
Wet and cold?
Wait a minute. Did I say that out loud?
So something that I think started last episode that I can't hear because I don't have headphones and he has it plugged in, which isn't fair. Producer Matt has started putting sound effects on these shows.
Oh yeah, I have the same app.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
but this time it's plugged in, So
I can't hear when
that's
he does
awesome. I like that.
So if the sound effects are distracting you to a level that's not funny anymore, please let us know in the comment section.
Well, at a point on ours, I had to be like, okay. And him and I, you know what's funny though? It was at the same exact sound effect where Matt and I kind of looked at each other and we were like, okay, no more set, we're done. Like we both hit our limit.
So for those of you that don't know, Growler Garage and Whiskey Babble, I guess officially don't have any relation, but yet they kind of do. They're kind of like cousin or sister podcasts.
I'll look at it like that, man.
That's the way I see it. It's Matt doesn't like to, producer Matt doesn't like to look at it this way, but I feel like it's his umbrella. You know, like it's his equipment for the most part. It's his idea that kind of got this rolling.
It was not my idea.
Okay, maybe it was Jake's idea.
It was Jake's idea.
What?
It was your idea. It's your fault that we're all here right now.
Yes, it is my fault. I actually, what happened was, hold on a second. My wife is texting me about the dogs. Okay.
The wheels.
Yes, it was. I was driving home one day and I was listening to actually the Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah.
If anybody out there knows, I have a real big heart on for Joe Rogan.
Don't we all?
And I said to myself, it's a good idea what he's doing, but he does like high-powered celebrities and like high-powered comics and stuff like that. And I was kind of thinking, I said, I really want to know. I mean, I come from a customer service background. I get treated like shit.
Right.
And I was like, and everybody I know gets treated like shit. So I wanted to actually make my podcast about like kind of getting the everyman involved, just the person that fixes your car, the person that does your plumbing, the person that fixes your lights, and actually getting them on the show and hearing their life story.
Yeah.
And like knowing what brought them to where they're at. And like, you know, so people can kind of understand that, you know, these people they're not pieces of shit. You know what I mean? Like you need these people.
I mean, some of them are.
Well, some of them are.
Yeah.
But you get what I'm saying though. It's like that was the whole deal, was to have them on and like kind of just enlighten people on what the everyman does, and they're normal people. You don't have to shit all over them,
right.
You know, whatever, to use your coupon or whatever the deal might be. And so that was kind of the point of mine. And then I hit up Matt and I said, hey Matt, I got this idea. And then he said, okay, like, yeah, fuck it, let's do it. And I was like, oh, okay.
So why me?
What?
Why did you?
I actually hit up Matt because I wasn't even going to use Matt. I was going to do it all myself. And I hit up Matt and I said, hey, do you have any idea how to start a podcast?
Uh-huh.
And like, cause I had no idea, and he's, you know, really technical guy. So, I mean, I'm sure, like I've said on many episodes before, that a simple Google search could have probably fixed my problems. but I reached out to Matt first and I said, you know, do you have any idea? And he goes, yeah, you know, blah, blah, blah. You know, he goes, fuck it, man. I'll help. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Like, let's make this happen. And I said, fuck it. Okay, cool. Let's do it. So Matt got involved and then we kind of moved forward. So
that's the birth of Whiskey Babble right there.
There it is.
Yep. Not only that, I mean, Growler Garage, I've said it before, it kind of spawned from Whiskey Babble because I went on your show and had a lot of fun. And
yeah,
I was
it's a good time, man.
And I was like, you know, I know that the dream is that we'd all love to make money doing this.
Oh, yeah.
And if it happens, great, is the way I see it. But I have so much fun, and it seems like you do too, because you really enjoy what you do. It's just having a legitimate excuse to just bullshit with people for an hour.
Exactly.
And it's so much fun.
And that's, you know, I actually was reading some of the comments on our podcast on iTunes. Did you know that we have
You have comments on iTunes?
What?
What?
Two.
One of them, I believe, is yours.
Oh, cool.
Was that the one? Was that the one where he said like it's like I'm sitting in the living room with them?
Probably.
Yeah, I don't know. Whoever.
I was really.
But that was like kind of my whole point of the show. Was somebody left a comment and they were like, I love this podcast because it feels like I'm actually just sitting in the living room bullshitting with friends.
And that's real. I mean that.
And that was like cool. That's what I want it to be like.
And honestly, like, yeah, did I write that review because I know that reviews help you guys? Yeah, but it's the truth. And legitimately, I listen to Whiskey Babble.
Well, I didn't know he wrote the review. Now I kind of feel like an asshole.
No, I mean, I don't want you to think it was a lie or anything.
There's
bullshit.
another one on there that's a legit review, though.
Yeah, then we have one real one.
And that I like to think that my review probably helped spawn that review.
There we go.
Hopefully.
But it's legitimate, and that's the thing is like, I listen to it because I like it. I like Whiskey Babble. I enjoy listening to it. And there's every bullshit artist has a podcast now, including this one right here.
All celebrities do, dude. Everybody has a podcast.
Every TV show, every website, they all have podcasts on the side, like autoblog.com. They've got, they're the number one podcast in the automotive section. We're coming for you, and you better just buckle down and be ready for it.
I actually have a question for you.
Shit's going to get real Don't interrupt my promo. Go ahead.
Hey, I actually have a question for you. I was looking for something that might be like, I don't know, maybe new, maybe noteworthy. Do you know where I can find?
You know what? If you click on the new noteworthy section of iTunes, and then you click on hobbies and games, and then automotive, you will find
after like 9 sublayers.
After 9
clicks,
sublayers, Growler Garage, as of last week, was number 2.
Hey!
There's hundreds of them. Thank you. And I think it's a random algorithm.
Dozens of us. There's literally dozens.
I think it was a random algorithm that got us there. And I don't care, and I'll take it. They probably look for how many times people say in their sentences.
I say like a lot that on mine. Yeah, I need to work on that. And I do a weird laugh sometimes. I do like a weird laugh sometimes. I don't know why I do it.
It's endearing. It's that in your phone that requires a backpack.
There you go.
That's what Matt likes to say. So when I was on your show a couple weeks ago, I came up with my iPhone. I bought like 2 days before, and I was like super happy because Android's been giving me nothing but problems. And I was an
welcome
Android.
Back to the fold, brother.
Yeah, I had an iPhone.
Father 3. Jobs,
Supreme Chancellor Cook.
I had an iPhone.
Supreme Chancellor Cook and Father Jobs.
I had an iPhone.
Viceroy Wozniak.
What was that? 4 years ago.
Viceroy Wozniak.
It was 4 years ago that the iPhone 3G was a thing. That was the last time I had an iPhone. I've been an Android diehard since then because the Android I felt like at the time was better. I loved the Android, thought it was great. And Google
it was back then.
In the past couple of years, Android
they were running Jelly Bean back then, right?
That was like it was like Cupcake back in the day. When you compare that to like iOS 4 or whatever it was, Android I thought was better. Now Google started stepping on their own dick whenever they're trying to do anything new, and I've had a lot of phones, so don't.
It's a revenue company, you guys always have to remember that.
You know, Google's
ad revenue
slogan used to be "Don't be evil," and I still don't think they're evil. I still like a lot of what Google does, and I think we all use Google all the time, so we can't really shit on it.
I mean, Google does a lot of things really well.
Yeah, they do, and we use Google Drive on the podcast as our kind of sharing thing, and I like Google at the heart of it. YouTube is great, and you know, and it's Google does a good job. Android needs to remember what it's all about. And
Android was supposed to start off as like an open source, wasn't it?
It was open source in the beginning.
And they've recently closed it back down because of everybody took advantage of it. Samsung with their TouchWiz, and I had a Samsung Galaxy S5. First I had the HTC One, the first one, the M7. It was okay at first, and then it started running like bullshit. Camera was garbage.
Verizon rep over here.
I was Then I had a Galaxy S5. I sold my Galaxy S5 after 3 weeks. I was one of the first people to buy it. Sold it after 3 weeks because it stopped working on me. Granted, it is a waterproof phone.
Wait, let me get this straight. So you sold your broken phone to somebody else?
No, it
reminds me of Dumb and Dumber when he's like, Petey didn't even have a head.
You know, it was working as factory intended according to Samsung. So fuck them. But the one credit I will give them is I was using my phone in the tub, and that phone was waterproof, and I dropped it in the tub.
Do you take baths too?
Yeah,
I love baths, dude.
Yeah, I have a nice jacuzzi tub.
I get so much shit for liking baths.
No, I have nice like bath salts.
I like it very yes.
And like,
do you use bath bombs?
I don't. What is that?
You go to.
Is that where like you pour alcohol in the tub and then see how fast you can drink it?
No, that's called jungle juice. No, I'm actually talking about. I believe the store is called Lush, and you can go there and buy very nice handmade soaps.
Do you know why it's called Lush?
Maybe because
everyone that shops
luscious.
there is a Lush.
Or it makes me luscious. I don't know. And anyways, you can go there and you buy these things called bath bombs, and you drop it in when your tub is filling up, and it's just like a big old Alka-Seltzer, and it fizzes, but it makes your bath smell good.
That's amazing.
My wife laughed at me because I brought those. My wife was giving me shit
that laugh
because I bought those fucking Corolla things that you drop in the tub water, change the colors, like you use it like your nephew or whatever.
That's amazing.
Your kids, and I was in the bath I'm like, babe, come in here, and she like comes in like, look, the water's red, and then like she's like, are you fucking? So she leaves, and I'm like, babe, come back in here. I'm like, it's purple now, and she's like, I made Valvoline. I did that for a solid month, and she got tired of it.
I'm buying those. That sounds amazing. I didn't know. Producer Matt is fucking flipping out right now. You bumped the table. That's like a Cardinals thing.
I know.
But I will say is that somebody was nice enough to donate these nice table stands for us, and that really helped. These are so nice. It's so professional.
Isn't it like a lot more professional looking?
It's super cool. Like,
thank you, Nick.
Nice.
I don't know if he listens to this show.
Is that my dad? Yeah, he listens to it religiously with my mom.
Yeah. Nick, Jake's dad.
Thank you.
donated these stands
Thank you,
to
Jake.
us.
Oh,
Nick.
cool. There you go.
I mean, it helps both shows out. I mean, that's the thing is I'm totally taking the hand-me-downs of Whiskey Babble, and I ain't care at all.
I ain't care, bro.
That's
I quote Ken Block all day on this.
business. You know what?
Hey.
Ken Block catches a lot of shit for being a poser or whatever. I say fuck that.
That guy's unreal.
Is Ken Block a little bit over the top? Yes.
Yes, and he
but
should
the
be.
dude made a living. He's got more money than
Does what he
from
loves.
DC, and now he's bought himself everything he could ever want in the world, and he's not a bad driver by any stretch of the imagination. People who call Ken Block untalented are people who don't know anything about racing, because they go, oh yeah, he only does this in
Here's the thing,
WRC.
though. I don't know jack shit about racing, and I don't think he's untalented. I think he's incredible.
That's the thing is, like, people who maybe don't know a ton about racing think he's really great. People who know the tiniest bit think he's shit, and then people who know a thing or two think he's good. And what it is they go, oh, he races in World Rally Championship, and he only finishes, his best finish is like a 5th. World Rally Championship is the hardest series to win in the world, and I will go to my grave saying that.
Doesn't Pastrana race in that too?
I don't think he's ever run WRC. He runs the American kind of version of it, and he does pretty decent. Ken Block actually kicks ass in the American kind of. I don't know rally that well, but there's individual rallies in the North America, and Pastrana does well. Ken Block kicks ass in that.
So
he has a big budget that helps, but in WRC. It is harder to win a WRC race than Formula One, than NASCAR, than IndyCar from a driver perspective. There's obviously Formula One, it's got all this other shit that makes it super hard to even get to that level. But WRC is the most driver-oriented series in the world, and the fact that he even competes in that and runs mid-pack means Ken Block is my hero.
do you guys feel this passion on the camera? I'm like sweating because of the
No, it's
heat.
because we're in a garage.
That's true. Yes, a Growler Garage.
Oh.
.net.
So-
You guys are so hey, you'll be proud of me. So like I've said it multiple times, I know just enough about cars to get by.
Yes.
I don't know. I listened to last week's episode.
Yeah.
And wow, that was an incredible episode. Let me just throw that out there right now. But
Thank you.
a lot of the stuff I didn't understand.
Okay.
And
You were throwing a lot of words at me.
yeah, you're saying you're kind of pissing me off actually. Like I want to fight you, but
I'm confused by your tactics. I'm going to continue acting tough until I can figure out what it means.
Exactly. And but I got to drive the other day, and it scared the shit out of me. A 2JZ Supra.
Oh,
No
2JZ,
shit.
no shit.
Yeah. And let me tell you this, bro. First off, if there's one car Toyota built, have you guys seen the FT1 that's coming out?
Yeah.
Okay,
A little bit. I don't know
It's
that much
supposed
about
to be
it.
like their new Supra that's
Right.
coming out, and then Lexus made the LF, which is supposed to be like another type of Supra.
Yeah.
And but I drove an original Supra, and I was like, dude, this fucking car was way ahead of its time. I mean,
Yeah.
the person that brought it in definitely took care of it. And so it felt like a new car. And I'm like, this car is way ahead of its time. So I drove it around a little bit, scared the shit out of me because it's a very fast car.
Did they say how much horsepower it had?
It was turboed and everything.
It's
So
probably, I'm assuming, a stock twin turbo one, which
Yeah.
was 300, but
this one thing wasn't stock though. Let me
Oh,
just tell
really?
you that. I don't know what specifically was done to it, but let me just tell you that there's about 9 technicians around the popped hood. Like everybody was looking at it like, holy shit.
Yeah.
So this is where my car knowledge comes into
Got
play.
the NOS fogger system.
2JZ, no shit.
oh, the engine the car came with. Oh, weird. My brother,
Standalone fuel management system.
we talked. I
Not
don't
a
mean
bad
interrupt,
way
but
to spend $10,000.
The last
$30,000 overnight
talked
parts from Japan.
We talked to my brother a little bit in the last one, and there's one thing he hates. It's that scene in the Fast and the Furious. Like, he loves the original Fast and the Furious almost as much as he loves the third Fast and the Furious. But when they say 2JZ, no shit, he like wants to throw something at the TV every time. He's like, it's what it came with. There was no other options. That was the only engine you could get in that generation.
Well,
of
there's a
Supra.
2JZ's turboed and then a 2JZ non-turbo.
Well, sure, but he doesn't say, oh, turbo,
it
no
didn't
shit.
say turbo.
True. So anyways, this is the back to
This
what I was
car
saying.
will decimate all.
Yeah. So this was my reaction to it. So like I pull it in, I'm all stoked. Like as I'm pulling it in to park it, you know, all the technicians are kind of looking back like, holy shit, look at that fucking car, because they're so rare. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, you don't see them
we
anymore.
really don't see them at
Ever.
all. So all the technicians are kind of looking at it like, oh yeah, blah blah blah. So this you guys are gonna laugh at me because, you know, this is some guy that doesn't know shit about cars. So I park it. Feeling like a badass, you know what I mean? Sitting in the Supra, you know what I mean? Yeah, take the key off, turn the key off, take it out, car's still running.
Yeah.
So I'm like, now I'm shitting. So now I'm like, holy fuck. Like, what did that do to this car?
Right, you're like,
so like I'm screaming at one of my buddies. His name's Frank. He's one of the technicians. I'm like, Frank. And he's like, the car's still running because the turbos have to cool down. And I was like, oh, okay. So then I
This was supposed to happen.
Yeah,
Okay, cool. Yeah.
all right. And then, like, so I get out and the car eventually shut off, but that scared the shit out of me.
That's hilarious. Like, that is like, don't feel bad, 'cause people do that all the time. Like my Mustang that I sold to our last guest, Will, it had, God, I don't remember the specifics of it, but it had a radiator fan that stayed on for quite some time after I shut that car off. And that's because it was just trying to cool everything down at a nice, even temperature. And always whenever I went to somebody's house, they come back like, your car's still running? And it was because I had such a giant fan, it sounded like an engine. It was moving so much air. They're like, your car's still running? I'm like, no. And I started getting tired of explaining it, and I was eventually like, yeah, it's a turbo timer. Okay, it wasn't at all. Yeah. It was just an automatic fan. But
on all of the new, I know like Toyotas and a couple other companies, they the fuel pump, the car runs diag on itself. Yep. The cars are a lot smarter than
God, yeah, I texted him about
this guy texts me and he goes, hey, question. And I'm like, yeah, what's up? And he goes, hey man, so at like 2 a.m, like my car, I just like
I walk out into the garage. It's 2 a.m. I haven't driven the car for well over 8 hours. And I walk around in the garage and the fuel pump's running. I know the sound of an electric fuel pump. And it's
just making sure there's always fuel ready.
And I'm like, what the?
We get so many complaints, dude.
So weird.
We get so many calls from like.
Talk about something unnecessary.
Like, dude, so many calls. So I hear my car making noises in the middle of the night. Yeah, it's your fuel pump. It's fine. Like, we have to.
Why do they? I kind of get why they do it, but by the same token, is if you shut the car off and it's got fuel to the fuel rail at that point, yeah, is a little bit kind of go backwards back into the fuel tank, yeah. But when you turn the key, the fuel pump immediately stops working. I mean, like when her car, Kaylee's VW, she drives a Tiguan, which I love. She, when you unlock it or when you open the door, the fuel pump starts running. So it does it a little bit differently, where it doesn't run in the middle of the night. It's just as soon as you open the door, it's like getting you ready. Like, yeah, we're about to get driving here. It's like the car gets excited. It kind of makes me happy.
But it's just one of those things that like we get so many calls and complaints about, and I'm like, this is something that could just as easily be Googled. And
why Google it if you know someone that works there?
No, I mean anybody over 35 does not believe in Google. Like,
dude, it pisses me off so much though. It's like I've had people call in and they're complaining to me or whatever, and like, what's the answer? And I'm like, oh, hold on, I'm Googling it. I'll say that to customers on the phone, dude. Hey, 3 or 4 times a day. Hold on, I'm Googling it. Let me get you an answer. Yeah. Looks like the taupe capacity is this much. Oh, okay, cool. Thank you. Like, bye. Something you could have fucking done, you retard.
Yeah, no,
like, it really pisses me off.
I worked at a go-kart track, and it never ceased where people would call me and go, yeah, I'm interested in renting your go-karts. How long is a session? Oh, let me pull up my website and let me check that out for you. Oh, it says right here 12 minutes is what a session is. Oh, okay. How much is that? Oh, yeah. Let me scroll down a little further on this chart here. $35 for a 12-minute session, or $95 for 3. You get a discount if you buy 3 or more. Oh, that's a really good deal. I like that. How fast do your carts go? Let me scroll down a little bit further here on this chart.
Let me see
55 miles an hour is what we claim.
Oh no, dude! I had a customer the other day.
Downhill with a freaking tailwind,
dude.
I can get it to 55 miles an hour with a draft. You can't.
Best one I had for a long time.
Ooh, tough guy.
Best one, dude. I had to stop myself.
John Cabral, if you're watching this, I know you can do it too.
So I do a lot of our email marketing. So I had an email come in, and the customer said, my husband passed away. I'm the sole owner of the car, but I live in Beaverton, Oregon now. Can you tell me a Toyota dealer by me? And I was this close to going.
Really?
Yeah. So I just Googled Toyota. I was this close.
Probably 92.
I should have sent the email back that said that. Like, yeah, because I mean, there's really no repercussions. And I should have been like, yeah. So I a quick Google search of Toyotas in Beaverton gave me Beaverton Toyota. So you could probably go there and fucking check it out, brain dead. But like I held back, but it took everything I had. I actually had to put a little fucking bonsai tree in my office because, like, dude, I deal with so much shit, and like, not even that, but from some coworkers that just drive me fucking bonkers that I had to like give me some sort of zen in my little.
That's interesting because she sent you an email. You said, right?
Yeah.
But yet, okay, so
She could send an email.
right. That's wrong. Like, if she gives you a phone call,
to the internet.
if she gives you a phone call, I kind of understand. Like old people, I mean, I get it. We're not quite there yet. There's people who have never been on a computer. Like my grandpa
Absolutely.
died a couple years ago. I say he never used a computer, but what I mean by that is he never used a personal computer. The dude invented the bolts that break away on an ejection seat in a fucking jet. Like when they are creating the ejection seat.
That's why you guys got that Britain money.
That's right. Yeah. That oil baron money. So when they were creating the ejection seat, they needed to have bolts that will break away in that situation, but yet won't break away when you're pulling however many G's, pulling left, right, upside down, whatever. So he invented those bolts that break away, but only when they're pulled in a certain direction. So I got to imagine that he probably used a computer at some point in his life, but it was probably the old style,
Some aspect
size of
of
the
a
Growler
computer,
garage.
Putting in $300,000 for 5 megs of
Right.
RAM.
Yeah.
If that, like 5 minutes, like,
He used the original ENIAC.
then that's the thing is we talked about this at my bachelor party randomly. We talked about this in kind of some depth. Somebody hits grandpa was like an assassin or something. I don't remember.
That's awesome.
But
My grandpa worked at Area 51.
what?
If you ask him about it, still to this day, man, he sits in his chair with his cigarette and he'll sit there and he'll go, "Not liberty to tell you."
Wow.
Still to this day, he will not talk about what
That's kind of cool, man.
happened at Area 51.
So this sound we're about to hopefully hear in the background.
Oh, there it is.
I hope you hear it. That's our previous guest, Will's Trans Am.
Hold on.
There he goes. Is that a monster car?
No, it's really slow. I mean, okay, it's not that slow, but it ain't fast. It looks cool. It's a fun car to drive. I'm begging him to let me put that car in this garage so I can fix. I can't fix a lot of things on a car. Like I know a lot about cars, but I'm not that good at working on them. To be totally honest with you, but I try. I know a lot about them.
Everyone knows a few things. And one of the things we knows is
It's not how you
not
stand
how
by
you
your
stand
car.
by a car. It's how you race your car.
Wow.
You better learn that.
I don't have the money, but I got the pink stuff to my car.
I told Will, I said, there's one thing that I'm real confident in, and that's getting the seating position in a car right. And it's super underrated how important that is. But being comfortable in a car and being able to really feel it and getting it right is super important. And I'm good at getting that right.
Well, I was watching Rush, and
Yeah.
what's the name of the guy that was racing against?
There's James Hunt and there's Nicky Lauda.
Okay, so Nicky Lauda, the one scene when he was driving in the car with the chick, and he's like, "Your left front tire is a little low,
Yeah.
and your water pressure, blah 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 blah," and the car breaks down or whatever. Are there really people that can like?
I mean, sort of. If I get into a car and the left front tire, it's a little different nowadays because back then they were using bias ply tires, which are constructed a little different than current radial tires. Current radial tires sidewalls are a lot stiffer than an old school bias ply. So if I get into a car and the left front tire is a little soft, meaning it's probably 10 or more pounds low, yeah, I can feel that for sure. And if I could literally teach you how to feel that really easily. I just have to give you one example. You'd be like, oh yeah, okay, now I know what that is. Knowing that I don't remember the exact, I remember that scene, but I don't remember exactly what he said, but knowing like the water pressure is too low or the oil pressure is low or whatever, you can hear oil pressure low for sure.
Yep.
So that's something I could pick up on. Water, you don't have a clue unless you have a gauge.
I think I just said that. I wasn't
Okay.
trying to be like.
Well, no, that's
I wasn't
fine.
doing an exact quote.
Just from the example, like if the oil pressure on a car is low to the extent of it causing damage, 100% I can hear it on every car
100%.
for sure.
100%.
That's the truth.
The hardest thing to teach somebody, and you learn this in people, road racing fans of this aren't going to like this, but oval track racing, which is what I grew up doing, which is more NASCAR as opposed to more Formula One, which is what road course racing is. Oval racing teaches you how to feel a car because in road course racing you're going left and right, and the car is kind of set up with a theory in mind, and you do minor adjustments. You don't really change a whole lot on the car to get it to handle right. In an oval car, you're always chasing it. You're changing the spring rate in one corner by 25 pounds, which it's like maybe it's a 300-pound spring in the car, which means it needs 300 pounds of pressure to compress it 1 inch. You might change it to a 275 for certain things. The shock valving, the compression and rebound rate, all that stuff determines how the car goes around a corner.
I'm learning.
Tire pressure is
I'm not going to retain any of it, but I'm learning.
Tire pressure is the most critical thing in a circle track car. But what circle track racing teaches you is how to feel a car and how to adjust on it. more than anything else in the world. And that's even in go-kart racing. That's the biggest advantage I have, even in the sport karts, is people around me don't know how to drive around an issue they're having. Like maybe they're like, okay, this car's understeering, which means it doesn't want to turn. A push is what NASCAR people might call it. And they'll go, okay, I'm going to turn in later, and I'm going to get get the car rotated, maybe use a little bit more brake so that it spins a little bit, and then drive it out of the corner. But they don't understand why it's understeering. What I might be looking at is, okay, this car's understeering because either one of the tires doesn't have enough tire pressure in it, maybe the tires are too worn out, maybe the toe, which is the alignment of the front tires.
R.I.P. Paul Walker.
Right.
You know what would fix that?
What's that?
Is tires that are matched perfect and staggered special.
That's a sick reference. I don't know what it's from.
It's from Days of Thunder. He goes, so, okay.
Did you ever see that did you see the pictures from when Ken Block was doing one of his races and they had a fucking chainsaw and they were cutting new grooves into his tires because it was raining?
No, but that's awesome.
Yeah, it's on his Instagram, dude. Go on his Instagram.
That's real life. But he
was doing some event and it was way too rainy and he needed more traction in the rain. Yeah. So some dude had like a mini chainsaw and they're like, and they were like etching new lines into his tires.
I'm like,
it's fucking nuts, dude. Like
that's real life. Like in dirt track racing, and especially
this is real life.
Like
I don't think you understand.
In dirt track racing, they have treaded tires. Sort of. It's a little different. They have like squares instead of trying to get the water out of the tire. They're trying to just grab onto the dirt and get. It's a little bit like a dirt bike tire, but on a wider scale. So some teams will create their own grooves that they think work better. So they create their own style of this, and they do it with like a hot blade. And
man, that's the 8th set of tires today. Is he ever gonna learn how to drift?
Oh God.
If you go on the outside of turn 4, you can pass him. What? Your tires are matched perfect and staggered special. If you go to the outside of turn 4, you can hold it. All right, Harry, I don't know if I can believe it, but we're going to get out there, we're going to do it. That's Days of Thunder when Full Circle won his first race.
Never seen it.
Do yourself a favor. It's as quotable as Fast and Furious.
Well, you see, we were inverted. And what were you doing up there? Keeping up foreign relations. Yeah,
well, he knows the actor at least.
Yes.
Giving him the finger. Oh, I'm sorry. It does that sometimes.
Siskel and Ebert described Days of Thunder as Top Gun with race cars.
Okay.
So it totally is.
I need to see it.
Completely is.
Yeah, it's good. It's actually people
I want you to go out there and hit the pace car.
What? Hit the pace car. You hit everything else on this goddamn racetrack. I want you to be perfect. Now do it. That movie is actually way more realistic than people give it credit for. People shit on that movie a lot.
I love that movie. That
movie. If you
movies.
ignore some of the over dramatic racing scenes where they're crashing each other and pulling the random fourth gear because they weren't already full throttle,
pull that rookie's chain.
That's my pet peeve in racing movies is when it shows them going from like 3/4 throttle to like full throttle, and it's like, no, I promise you, they're already all full throttle. Like that's the only thing about the movie.
I'm that dropping kind of the hammer.
So I watched.
No, you're not.
So I watched. Today was my day off, and I watched Maze Runner.
What?
What is that?
The Maze Runner?
Is it Corn Runner?
What's one of them Maze Runner?
Maze Runner, Corn Runner. Sick reference, bro. Because Indians called it maze. I get that.
Right, yeah.
By Indians, I mean Native Americans. Feather, not dot. And so The Maze Runner, it's a young adult film that takes place in a dystopian future. Uh-huh. And
that's a big word.
This is direct from the IMDb because I actually looked it up today while I was watching the film. And so anyways, it takes place, these kids are dropped in like a random grass field with no memory of anything.
Okay.
And there's a big maze with like these half robot, half creatures that look like they're from Doom that like run around like the fucking maze and kill you.
No, that's a reference. Doom
reference. They're coming out with a new one and it looks epic.
Oh. Okay, we'll get back to that.
On the Xbox One and the PS4, they're coming out with it. I mean, the PS5. What PS are we on?
I have a
Xbox
PS4.
One is the greatest fucking invention that this planet's ever seen.
Because I want Forza 6 real bad and I want Gears of War.
Yeah, you do. That's why you need an Xbox One. Yeah, damn. So anyways,
300.
Yeah, so they
American Express.
Hello.
You are a huge nerd.
Just as good as real money.
That's right. Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime.
Prime money.
So
side note. I looked it up today. There's a website that tells you how much your website's worth.
Yeah.
GrowlerGarage.net is worth 15 cents a day.
Nice.
I don't know how we cash in on this arbitrary internet money, but
We need to figure that out. We need to get on that gravy train.
Let's do it, man. 15 cents a day, man. That should add up.
It will.
Yep. It's more than the YouTubes makes.
Exactly. So, anyways, they have to run this maze, and then they figure out a way to escape. But then they just get launched into like a whole nother different. It's a whole like sociological experiment.
Okay.
And so like I guess the world was wiped out. Like half of the world was wiped out from like this nuclear blast or something like that.
That sounds cool.
Kind of does sound like. Oh, the new Fallout looks epic too. By the way, there's so many good games coming out. I can't even.
I just
never played a Fallout game until David, one of my guests, David, told me, oh, you should check out Fallout. So I got New Vegas, and I was like, well, I love those types of games anyways.
I've never played New Vegas.
Oh, I'm like
sucker. I played 3, which I loved until you got to the end and the story started falling apart. And
but see, like I do like a lot of the fantasy ones, like Dragon Age and like Elder Scrolls and Skyrim.
Yeah.
Loved Skyrim. So he's like, just New Vegas. It's like Skyrim but cowboy kind of. And I was like, okay.
Okay.
So I played it. It's pretty sick. So now I can't wait for Fallout 4.
Yeah,
there's so many good games. There's the Division coming out.
I mean, I know Gears of War has kind of gotten.
I'm a sucker for cornrows and manicured.
I'm a sucker for Gears of War because what sucked me into that game was what sucks a lot of people into that game is the chainsaw machine gun.
Yes. Never played it, but
Dude,
I've heard good things.
Gears is
Gears 2
awesome.
was the pinnacle. Gears 3, like they created a mode called Horde, which was kind of similar to, I think Call of Duty had a similar one, the zombie one with the zombie Nazis, where it's just you and 4 of your buddies.
Can we not say Nazi on this podcast, please?
Well, you know. And so there's Horde, which is you're sitting there with 4 of your buddies online, and it's just wave after wave of the bad guys, the locusts, which are these giant alien things, and it's so good. Like we stayed up till like 6 a.m. playing it one time, and we didn't even know. Like we opened the window and we're like, oh my god, it's daytime.
Well, it's funny because I think it's really amazing how people have different game preferences, and like personally I'm not a Gears of War fan, but I respect the game and people that play it, like, good for you. I'm more of like, can you picking that up on the mic?
No, it's fine.
Oh.
I don't know.
I don't know. Are we, Pat?
I don't know.
What do your headphones tell you?
Ask producer Matt. I hate wearing headphones. Like I loved them, but I kind of hate them at the same time.
I like
headphones
it
are great.
I can hear when I'm fucking up.
Can we get headphones? Is it too late?
No, it's cool.
It's far too late.
I'm over it. But I'm looking forward to like the new Mass Effect game, obviously, which is gonna be fucking epic. And then like the Division, they're coming out with the new Final Fantasy game, the new Doom game. I'm playing Arkham Knight right now. Yeah. Like there's, those are my kind of games. I'm not really in Call of Duty, of course. But like, I don't know why. I just think it's funny how people get on certain game kicks, and that's like what they play. I
know that you're a Batman fan and a comic book fan.
Yes, I am.
Do you watch the Gotham?
Yes, I do actually.
So this is a shameless plug, and I don't care. We're going to have the sound effects technician that's recently been nominated for an Emmy.
I heard this.
He's going to be on our little ass podcast because I didn't know he races out with me. So I race with him in go-karts, and I didn't know this till recently. We're going to have him on the podcast, I'm hoping next week, but maybe not, so don't hold me to it, viewers. So I just wanted to throw that out there. And I'd love if you want to
know anything about Batman though, or
a little.
It's going to be a boring conversation.
I'm going to study a little bit.
I know that my friend's uncle is Batman.
There you go.
Right.
I've heard
Throwback.
that.
I don't think we're going to talk a ton about that because I'd be curious to know what he knows about Batman. If you want to be here and meet him, that'd be great.
Well, yeah, we could do that.
You're welcome to that.
I will. We'll
pull out the 4th mic for you. And,
I might next. No, we might be. Next week.
We record next week.
Yeah, we're recording next week.
You can co-host that one almost.
I'm working on a guest actually, so.
Right. So I just want to throw that out there. I'm hoping he's already said he's in. I'm hoping we can get him for the next one, but if not, we'll get him on a later episode. When we do get him, I'd love to have you on it because you are more of I am a Marvel fan. You are more of a DC fan.
David on. I'm okay. Like
he's not going to do it.
Yeah, I know. But I'm like let's say like you could put a percentage on like a Batman fan and what they know. Mm-hmm. I would say like I'm like a 20%. Like I've come to the realization in my life, and this was like a hard thing to come to, but I kind of came down to the realization that like I know just a little bit of everything.
Okay.
Like and like a jack of all trades. I know just a little bit of everything, but I'm not like a specific master in one thing. So like I could get your, like Matt and I were talking about, like I could get your Raspberry Pi working.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I could look at your car and probably eventually maybe figure out what the problem is. I couldn't fix it, but I could probably figure out what the problem is. I could talk to you about Batman. I could talk to you about football. I could talk to you about baseball. But who played third base for the Angels in '92? You know, I'm not like that, but I know just enough to get by, right?
I think I can get that one. Angels 92.
Steve did.
I'm going to take a guess. I'm gonna Fox
For what? For 92? What position did I say?
third base. I'm gonna Fox News check myself here, but I'm going to go with.
Here. I'm gonna say Greinke.
God, it's not Jim Abbott. He was the pitcher at the
No,
time.
Abbott was a pitcher.
Yeah, he was the one-handed pitcher.
I went to high school with his son.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
He played baseball too.
You know, I'm almost gonna say that I think Tim Salmon's been playing that long.
No, he was
Not
in
anymore.
92. I'm gonna say Greinke.
Okay, it's funny is I looked it up and the first name that popped up is Jim Abbott. I know that's not right, but that's funny. That's the first name that popped up, and he was my favorite pitcher as a kid because he
was unreal. He'd throw the ball
and then move his hand and move the glove over, right?
He would throw the ball and he kept the glove right here, and but he had like a nub kind of deal, and he would throw the ball, and after the pitch was done, he'd slide his hand into his glove in one like motion,
Right on.
and be ready to catch. It was insane.
That's cool.
So we said 92. There was a Kyle Abbott. Who's Kyle Abbott? He was another pitcher. 91 and 96. So I was right that Jim Abbott was a pitcher at that time. So that's good. Keep on going. I'm gonna keep.
Are you guys talking about that sports ball?
The fucking American pastime. You better know it.
Sports ball.
Redneck over there better know baseball.
You know, I have a black belt in sports ball.
Really?
Yep.
Let's go 3B. Look for that. 1973 to 78, and that's not it.
If it doesn't make left turns at over 100 miles an hour, I don't care.
So you're in a Formula Mazda or what? They make left turns over 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, stupid.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, 51 to 52. I don't want that. 67, 96.
Well, now that
getting
there's
close.
a huge lull in the show.
No, I'm reading. It's fine. 62 to 64. 2014. Ian Stewart. Okay. David Silvestri, 99. 1990. Rick Shue, getting close.
I didn't know this was a sports podcast. I thought it was a racing podcast.
You know what? Shut your mouth. Okay. All right. I can't find it.
It was Northrop, and that was a very simple Google search.
How did you find that? I
let's
Googled
go on
that.
with our lives.
God damn it.
I think you need a new laptop. Pat.
I do. You know what? I updated this to Windows 10.
Everybody was talking so much shit on Windows 10, dude.
It's bad, man.
They were saying that because it's like a free upgrade, but if you want to update something on your computer, you have to actually like rebuy the program. Like they give you one free.
Really?
One free download, but so like some
it's
guy
not
on
perpetually free
some
OS
guy
X.
on Reddit and also subsequently posted on Imager was posting his conversation. Like he had an online conversation with like a rep from Microsoft.
Oh my god!
And he's like, so what if I want to replace my RAM? Like if I put a new RAM stick in there, and they're like, then you have to re-download Windows 8.
What?
And he's anything.
No, why?
Anything that modifies your computer other than what it's at when you download Windows 10. You have to
That is nonsense.
Exactly.
Microsoft is going to burn themselves into the ground.
That was the
You know
whole
what?
point.
Real life here, like
You can find it on Imager still.
They're done. Like if that's a real thing, they're finished.
I mean, real life. I was one of the only people that loved Windows 8, and I loved it. And the concept of Windows 10 is great. Like the new start menu was fantastic. Their new search is fantastic. But
Max for life.
my touchpad,
That's right.
and my wife's touchpad, and my other
your wife's touchpad.
Yeah. And my other laptop that I use as a media center almost touchpad, none of them worked. That's a pretty fucking important thing on a laptop.
Usually,
So
yes.
and I looked into it, and that the Synaptics driver wasn't certified for Windows 10.
Oh, good.
Every fucking computer made in the last 20 years uses Synaptics as their driver for their touchpad, and it doesn't work. And my internet constantly reconnects. It's slow as shit. Her computer can't multitask anymore. It's
Do you have Wi-Fi?
right. You know, I'm seriously like, I told her, I'm like, you know what? This computer is going to become a travel-only computer where I put it in my backpack and it stays there.
I'm telling you, man.
Because it's nice. I mean, it's a tablet. You know, it's cool.
Oh shit! You just flipped that shit
Yeah.
on me, bro.
It's
Hey,
nice,
Is it broken?
right? It's a good
I don't
computer.
think you should do that.
But I'm going to get an iMac as my desktop
You
that
should.
I
Fucking
just
should.
mount in my room, because whenever I try to do Photoshop on this computer now, keep in mind, this computer is a mid-level at best computer that worked fine on Windows 8. Now, if I try to load a photo in Photoshop...
What version of Photoshop do you run?
Don't update it because you have to rebuy fucking Windows 10.
It's what did it say? It's CS5. That's
okay.
fine.
So wow. Okay. It won't even run CS5.
No, it does, but like when I try to load more than one layer, it's like what?
Wow.
Windows 8, it was fine. Windows 8, it was just fine. Windows 10.
Good thing we fucking rep Lion and we don't have to worry about that.
To be fair, I use a Mac at my old job at CalSpeed, and
dude,
it hasn't been updated in a long time, and it's real bad.
I have, Pat, to put this into perspective, my Mac that I do all of the editing for both of the shows on was built in 2006.
Jesus.
And I run Premiere Pro CS6 on it, and it still does.
My Mac's a 15 and it fucking decimates. I have no beef with my
How
Mac.
long does it take you to, I don't know if you have a GoPro, but like how long does it take you to convert like a 10-minute GoPro video? Like, which GoPro drives me crazy because if you want to edit a video, you have to like, obviously it's got to be on your computer, which is fine, but then you have to convert it to a different format before you can even edit it.
Well, that's the thing that like with Macs, you have to kind of convert everything.
Yeah.
Like, I felt kind of bad because I had to rework my resume and I sent it to a couple people, and all of them were like, "Hey, bro, I can't read your shit." And I was like,
"What program were you using?
What
program were you using?"
Pages.
I send
that's
PDFs
why,
to my resume.
But it's really easy. It's literally 2 buttons. You click edit, you click export to, and then you click Word, and it exports it to a Word document. But I wasn't thinking when I sent the resumes out.
Right.
So one of the guys was like, "Oh, I was able to look at it on my iPad," but like everybody else was like, "I can't read your shit, bro." So I had to, But same thing with because I'm at Cal State Fullerton. I have to write all of my shit in Word. I mean, in Pages, and then export it to Word, and then submit it to the forums. But
I send resumes as PDFs because then they can't get it wrong.
That's true too. You can export to PDF. There's literally like 9 different file types from Pages that you can export to. That's really a trip.
That's one of the really good things about pretty much every piece of Mac software is you can basically transform it into any of the other associated file types pretty easily.
Yeah, I mean, I've started using Google Drive for most of my spreadsheets, for my Word, for whatever.
Can we get Google Fiber here sometime, please?
God, that'd be nice,
probably not in the next 15 years.
I mean,
why? I feel like California would be a prime spot.
I pay like
San Jose will get it because that's where Google's main office.
It's like anything.
Is.
It's the cable companies are the same as the oil companies, right? It's like they own the land, and it's bullshit.
Google Fiber will go first to where the Google plants are.
But didn't we talk about it? Was it on my last podcast? Whiskey Babble, everybody, for anybody out there listening. Simple search. You go into podcast on your phone. You type in Whiskey Babble or YouTube or Stitcher. But also, but didn't we talk about how like basically cable companies going like the way of the fucking dodo? Because you can literally, I mean, on any type of like media stick or whatever. Why is that so funny?
I can't handle this.
Oh.
For those of you that aren't watching the video version of this, Pat has put a graphic up onto the TV that's behind Jake, and it says
it's Bert and Ernie.
It's Bert
with
and Ernie.
Bert right in Ernie's nose, like their nose. He's holding a kite.
You want some sherbert?
And he's got
sherbert.
He's got like his finger. He's like irritated. Like you see his like monobrow on Ernie, and he says, "Your opinions are shit. They're fucking shit." And they're like in an argument, and I've started just playing with this because I have my phone basically hooked up to my TV, which is in the background here, and I've started just putting images.
I want to Tony Stark this shit and just like take it over.
And now I got Hank Hill that says,
"Get all that ass in my hand."
He's like talking about propane, and he goes, "If I could just get all that ass in my hands." That went from Hank Hill to Dusty Rhodes real quick.
Do you remember the one episode, dude, where they hired like the drug addict?
Yeah.
And he goes, taste the heat, not the meat.
Heat, not the meat.
God, son of a bitch! Like he gets so fired up about it.
Well, ma'am, I can assure you, what he meant is taste the meat, not the heat. I can assure you, propane only tastes the meat. How can I help you?
God damn it, Bobby!
Damn it, Bobby! Whoa!
That's my purse. I don't know you. Dude, King of the Hill was great, man.
It was the best.
Really underrated show. Do you remember the one where Peggy said that she was blow drying her hair one time and she heard Jesus?
No,
and then
what?
you don't remember that one?
No.
So then she's sitting there and she was just kept like holding the blow dryer to her head so she could hear it again. And
It's not working. It's supposed to be a GIF. It's not working.
Oh, that's really good though. I really wish you put that on your podcast. And so it was Yeah, so she's sitting there blow drying her hair, and Luann comes in. She says like, "I'm going to the store or whatever," and like Peggy clicks it off, and she goes, "Jesus?" Like she heard it.
That's right.
But you know what? One of my favorite, and I say it all the time, and my wife doesn't get it, and I don't know why I say it. It's just something that stuck with me from King of the Hill. Maybe you'll get the reference, but when Hank goes, "Vidalius," do you remember that one? Do you remember it? It's when he had the sex dream about Dale's wife, and they were at a picnic barbecuing, and Hank was barbecuing, and so Peggy wanted to recreate it because Peggy thought she wasn't like sexy enough or whatever. So she goes, "What kind of onions were they, Hank? Were they Vidalias or were they green onions or and whatever?" And Hank he sighs like this, just defeated, and he goes, "Vidalias," like that, and I don't know why. That's just one scene that's always stuck with me from King of the Hill. Vidalias.
King of the Hill is the best. I'm glad it went away when it did because it was gonna go the way of The Simpsons.
The Simpsons has really gone. I hate to say it because I'm a huge Simpsons fan.
It's been going downhill for 15 years.
But it's just like, come on, bro. They didn't bring back Futurama. Futurama was fucking incredible.
You know what? They brought it back twice.
They tried so hard,
and
but
it was fine, but every time it was a little worse.
Yep.
And same thing with Family Guy. I can't even watch Family Guy anymore. It's just like
the way they ended Futurama though was perfect.
Yeah.
The way with the
well, you want to go around again?
Yeah. Then they start, and then if you watched it live, which you might have,
it started from the
first episode again. It was badass the way they did it. It was so good. Like I think that's the best ending to like I was satisfied. Like I want more Futurama because I love that show, but the way they ended that was perfect.
I mean, it wasn't like when they fucking finished Lost.
I didn't watch Lost.
Oh god.
Or the first time they did Futurama where they went into the black hole, and I loved how they pulled themselves out of it because they're like, oh, what's on the other side of the black hole, and then ended because they're kind of making fun of The Sopranos, I think. Yeah. And then they brought it back, like they got renewed for another season on Comedy Central, and they're like, oh, other side of the black hole is Earth, and they just landed on Earth, and you're like, oh, okay.
Did you watch The Sopranos at all?
No.
Well, that's yeah. The ending was very like. It's like everybody still talks about it to this day. It's pretty incredible. But like they talk about it and they're like, yeah, but like, was he murdered? Like what happened? Like blah, blah, blah. Now I watched every episode of The Sopranos. I shouldn't have. I was very young, but I watched it with my dad and my mom, and which was really awkward too because there's a lot of sex scenes.
Oh, cool.
Anyways, but there was, the way it ended was like they were just all sitting around a bar. And like music was playing, like he was sitting there with his whole family, and then it just stopped. That's all it was.
Weird.
But like everybody was drawing these, like extrapolating these fucking stupid conclusions.
I'm sure that's
like,
what the intention.
Oh, this guy had a gun and killed all of them, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, no, like it just ended. Like they were done with it.
They checked out. They're finished.
They were done making the show.
So, there's only one segment of the show that we do here on Growler Garage that I gotta get in. And that's our trivia.
Oh, shit.
And that's our pop quiz trivia 0 to 60 challenge. And we had a new high score last week, and that was Will getting 4 out of 10. 40% is our top score. And that was by design. I want this to be hard because if somebody's able to get 10 on
I'm going to get 0. It's going to be funny.
That's fine.
I mean, I'm going to fucking try.
Lauren got 0 out of 30.
I don't know. You're full of a lot of really random facts.
If I get 0, though, can I still get on the board?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, cool. No. Part of me like, can I get negative?
So we, I don't want somebody to get 10 early on because then it's like, what's the point, right?
Well, then you got to make 15 questions.
Right, and then it's like Will got through all 10 for the first time ever, right? Which was super cool, and he got 4.
And he was even stalling and like, trying to think of answers. It's like.
It was pretty sweet.
Because I listened to it.
Yeah, thank you. And I apologize for those that can't see it on the TV because technology doesn't work in the way I wish it did. And the Chromecast I had was a piece of shit because I like to.
Pat doesn't computer too well.
Was that because you were? Oh, is that why you were selling the Chromecast?
Great. I sold it for $20 to somebody. He's loving it. It's great.
I got everybody in my family by Amazon Fire Sticks.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
I fucking love this thing.
I got Roku's and I'm big on it. And for when I sit in my garage and just watch TV, sometimes the Roku kicks ass. Like I've got my Amazon account on there. I got my WWE network. I'm all good. I got my YouTube so I can watch Roadkill.
Ric Flair.
Ric Flair's still alive.
Wait, who died?
Rowdy Piper.
My bad. Ric Flair's on his way out though.
So
I don't know.
He's been on his way out for 20 years.
I don't know shit about wrestling. I'm actually kind of embarrassed. I try to make that reference.
That's okay.
And,
you should be embarrassed.
So fuck. Even though I don't work at the go-kart track I used to work at anymore, I'm still the announcer there. And at the last race,
Rowdy.
It was, Rowdy Piper's known for his, thing in a movie. I think it was, what was it? True Lives, not True Lies. Different. True Live, I think it was what it was called.
True Lives was a great flick though.
It was, but so he has the quote everybody remembers, which is I came here to chew gum and to chew bubble gum and kick ass.
And I'm all out of gum.
And I'm all out of bubble gum.
Duke Nukem
Kick-Ass.
said that too.
Yeah, everybody knows it from Duke Nukem, but Roddy Piper said it first. And so at the end of that, and I'm the announcer for the racing.
Didn't I want to say that what's his name from Evil Dead actually said it first?
I don't know. Maybe.
How come I can't think of his name right now?
You're thinking of Bruce Campbell.
Bruce Campbell. I think Bruce Campbell said it first.
Maybe, but I think Roddy Piper made it relevant.
This is relevant.
And then there was Ronda Rousey took her name from Roddy Piper because she calls herself Rowdy Ronda Rousey.
Did you see that fucking knockout?
Oh my god, man!
We were sitting at seconds of it.
We were sitting at the Tilted Kilt watching it with our friends and a bunch of other
sick
people.
invite, bro.
Dude, it was in Fontana. Did you want to go out of Fontana?
I really didn't though. So
there you go. So
100% didn't want to go.
So we got free cover, which was badass. Thank you, Kelly. He got us free cover into the Tilted Kilt because I brought a lot of people, and I mean, people are sitting there cheering, and there's a little part of me that I'm like, "Dude, she can't lose. Like, this is gonna be so bad if she loses," because this girl talks so much shit.
She talked about her dad killing herself.
I know, man.
Right?
And then
I love her facial expression.
And two of my friends made a bet.
Like, totally
She's really not
unfazed.
that. Her name is Betch in the Portuguese. That's how you pronounce it, Betch. And she's really not an attractive human.
No,
I'm just gonna throw that out there. I think Ronda Rousey. Okay, first off, we were watching the Conor McGregor fight. It was me, John, Mike, and Dave, and we were all sitting watching the fight. And I'm like, and they're talking about the Rousey fight. I'm like, dude, Ronda Rousey is fucking hot. Yeah. Everybody said she's hot except for Mike. And Mike was just, she's too manly. And I'm like,
bullshit.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Man.
So I pulled up like the Sports Illustrated.
Have you seen her when she's not like
I pulled up Sports Illustrated swimsuit.
Yeah, she doesn't have any makeup on. Her hair's up when she fights. Obviously, she doesn't look.
And I'm like,
hot.
but I pulled up like Sports Illustrated swimsuit, and then like her in the Expendables 3. I have like this huge crush on Ronda Rousey. Because she's a fucking monster. Yeah. And like her
and she's a good human being.
Yeah, she's great too. But her judo, her jiu-jitsu, like everything is just incredible. And it was funny because like I pulled up these pictures. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? He's like, no, still a dude. And like Dave and John and all of us were kind of sitting there like, what the fuck? Like, Mike, what's wrong with you, bro? Like, she's gorgeous, but like,
I mean, like, is she the hottest person in the world? No. But is she good looking? Absolutely.
Here's the thing with
she's great.
Here's the thing with Ronda Rousey, and you heard it from Jake first. There will be nobody in her skill range and able to fight her for 20 years. She'll be long retired before somebody comes along to fight her. And here's why.
What if Cyborg drops 10 pounds?
Never happen. Dude, you have to look at it like this, bro. The only way the Cyborg Rousey fight is going to happen is if they do a catch weight at 140. Why the fuck? First off, two reasons. Why would the UFC make their champion go up to 140 to fight? Never happened. Not a smart business move. And why would Rousey risk going up to 140 to do the fight? Would. So here's what's going on. You have to look at it, dude. Fucking Cyborg would have to. She drops to 145. I actually got into an argument with a guy at work about this. He's like, it's happening. I'm like, no, it's not. It's never gonna happen. And it could don't get me wrong. It could happen, but it's highly unlikely. Because she would have to drop. She's already doing literally exhausting every part, like barely being able to stand on stage to drop to 145. Bless you.
Oh, thank you.
She's doing everything she can to drop to 145. So to drop another 10 pounds and make 135, she wouldn't exist. She'd lose weight into nothing.
No, I mean, Rousey's going to continue to kick ass in that division for the next 2 or 3 years, and there's going to become a point where she's going to retire.
They're already saying Tate 3, Rousey and Misha Tate 3. It's like, what's the fucking point, dude? Because there's nobody else to fight her. And here's why. Well, here's why, dude. Because unlike all these other fighters, and trust me, dude, all these women could kick my ass. I'm not taking anything away from them. I'm just saying that Ronda Rousey has been bred since birth to be a fighter, dude. Mm-hmm. She has been bred since birth. She's been doing judo competitions since she was 4. She's an Olympic medalist in judo. She's just a fucking monster. All these other women have gotten into it 4 or 5 years ago, 6 years ago, and they're monsters. Don't get me wrong. They're badasses in the ring.
Yeah.
But they're just not designed like Rousey. I mean,
that's the thing is they're all freaks of nature, right?
Yeah.
And then Rousey is on another level entirely.
Well, that's what well, I was just listening to another podcast and they were talking about Rousey and comparing her to the other fighters. And they're like, you guys don't fucking understand. All of these women are in the 1%.
Right.
All these women are in the 1%.
Amazing.
And they compared it to like a football team, right? Or a basketball team or a baseball team. They were like, okay, so you've got your initial ex-players, and then you've got guy number 15 on the bench who probably never even see the light of day on the field. That guy is still a fucking unbelievable athlete in the top 1%. Like, this dude's a monster.
Absolutely.
And he's like, now you're looking at the 0.00001%. The Ronda Rouseys, the John Joneses, you know what I mean? The Elio Gracies, the Hoist Gracies, all of these people that are just even above those people.
Yeah, I mean, Rousey's going to be remembered as kind of a Muhammad Ali type of person.
We're witnessing history.
Yeah.
Like, nobody else realizes
no
that.
doubt
Like,
about it. I mean, she's making UFC what it is.
The UFC has to change quite a few things. I think the UFC is going to be viable in 10 years? Maybe. And there's a bunch of stuff as to why. But the sport itself isn't going anywhere. There's going to be some type of promotion that puts the sport on. And we're witnessing history, because there will never be another fighter like Ronda Rousey. Nope. She is pound for pound the best fighter on the planet, and I will say that over male fighters also.
I totally agree.
She's pound for pound, and but that's just me.
Yeah, no, I mean, I wasn't much of a fan of UFC until, her and Conor McGregor got me into it, because he's fun to watch.
Yeah,
he talks a lot of shit. He's a dude that if he decided to go into pro wrestling, he'd be a badass at it, because he talks so well. And and to me, like pro wrestling is what it is, but the entertainment value of that is watching people talk, and he brings that to UFC, which is a legitimate fight. So that's a win-win situation for me.
And that's, I think, going to be one of the downfalls of the UFC. But
is that it's becoming a little bit too...
It's becoming too produced. It's becoming too... You know what I mean? I like to watch it, dude, where those dudes fucking hated each other. And there's...
So you don't like the thing where they hold arms and they drink water?
No, that's funny. That's funny to me.
There's one fighter that does that in all...
Yeah, O'Donnell is his last name.
Yeah.
And he does he did rock, paper, scissors with the guy, and then he's done...
Boops people on the nose.
Yeah, he's done quite a few.
Yeah, I mean, that's funny, and that's just it. You're right.
No, I like that stuff. I don't like the whole, I'm going to come down there, I'm going to take your family, I'm going to burn your house down.
I love that shit.
Oh, I'm going to break you, you know what I mean? Like, break your back and make you humble. I'm going to,
that's the thing is,
can you smell?
You gotta roll the L's. You go, if you smell
what the Connor's cooking. Like, it doesn't, to me, it's too, the UFC, it's fucking blood sport, dude.
Yeah, no.
And it needs to be portrayed as blood sport. They're trying to make it too, and that was with this whole fucking Reebok deal, dude. Like, they're making it too much about the money.
Yeah.
And first off, it's fucking with the fighters. Now you got me fired up on this, and I didn't want to talk about it, but now you got me fired up about it.
Roll on with it.
It's fucking with the fighters, and that's why a lot of fighters have actually left and gone to Bellator, because basically
I'm shocked that Pat knew that.
I know. I was gonna get in a minute, but what happened was basically, so Reebok came in, right? And Reebok goes, okay, look, because basically what the UFC wants to be is they want to get away from pay-per-views completely. But in order to get away from pay-per-views like the NFL and Major League
they want to go on
Baseball,
Fox Network,
you need
right?
You need monster sponsors, dude.
Yeah.
You can't live with what they're living off of. You know what I mean? So you need Toyotas and you need Ford.
Yeah, you don't need Zions or whatever.
Exactly. You
bullshit.
need legit sponsors. So Reebok comes along, right? So, but here's what happened with the whole Reebok deal. Basically, the fighters, they could wear whoever wanted to sponsor them.
Right.
So, fucking whoever, I give me a brand. Just throw out a brand. Adidas. If they wanted Adidas patch across your crotch, that was, 10 grand. Adidas give you 10 grand to wear an Adidas patch across your crotch. So, and these guys would have 15 or 20 different sponsors that they were getting, and that's how they make their money. They don't get paid for fighting, dude. Yeah. It's bullshit what fighters get paid. It's really sad, actually. And
it's really only until you get into the super high.
And even then, they're not making a lot of money, dude.
Belt fights, though, right?
Yeah, but even then, they're not making a lot of money. So they make all their money from their sponsors. Well, guess what the UFC did? The UFC did, okay, cool, check it out, guys. All of my fighters, guess what? And I think there's 1,200 fighters in the UFC right now. They go, here's what's going on. Reebok's all of your guys' sponsor now. You can't wear any of the shit you were wearing. You're going to get 10% from all of your Reebok sales. Sign this contract or you're fucking out.
Didn't they do a salary cap, too? Mm-hmm. Isn't it $100 grand or something like that?
Bad. So basically what happened was all of these sponsors that I was making 50, 60 grand off of for one fight are all gone. And now I have to pray to God that I'm marketable enough that people are buying my Reebok shit that has my name on it so that I can get 10% of those sales.
Dude, that's totally why Brock Lesnar
they're
didn't
on
come
like
back.
a,
That's why a lot of people are leaving, dude. Phil Davis left. A big that guy would have been champion. Yeah. Phil Davis left and went to Bellator. A bunch of people are leaving, and that's why I was talking about why UFC needs to change its shit around. But that's what they need to get into the NFL. Because if you also notice, NFL players can't wear and same thing with baseball players rarely.
Yeah, but those guys still get paid millions of dollars a year.
Well,
exactly.
I mean, yeah, they do. I mean, they make a great living.
Could you imagine doing that kind of sport, UFC, getting your life beaten out of you for $100 grand a year?
Well, that's the hard part, right? Is it's so hard to stay relevant.
I wouldn't do that.
They're making less.
They only fight a couple times per year if you're a big name.
So it's $100 grand a year is the cap, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
That's so hard to stay relevant because if you're a big name, you might fight twice or 3 times a year, and it's hard to stay in front of the people at that point. And that totally makes sense. Is like earlier this year, Brock Lesnar was having the UFC or WWE kind of bullshit thing of where's he going to go because he's trying to make as much money as he could because he was threatening WWE like, yeah, I'll go back to UFC, I'll become world heavyweight champion again because I don't have the diverticulitis anymore.
He got that?
No,
too much protein.
That's right. Yeah. So Lesnar's a beast, and the fact of it is he's getting a little older, but I've no doubt that because he doesn't have that anymore, he can still go back to UFC, maybe not become world heavyweight champion, but
not with the heavyweights they got now.
He could do fine, and
he'd have to fight Verdum, and Verdum would.
And he's super marketable, and he'd be all right. But that makes perfect sense of why he didn't come back. He's got Jimmy John's on him. If they didn't allow him to bring Jimmy John's, Jimmy John's is paying him a shit ton. If they're paying Kevin Harvick in NASCAR probably $20 million a year to run that car, they got to be paying Lesnar a similar amount of money.
But now that I've said that, watch the fighters, and you guys are gonna notice it.
Oh yeah.
Like if you watch the Rousey Correa fight, I'm sorry, she's wearing all white Reebok, and Rousey's wearing all black Reebok.
I noticed that there was no logos.
Nope, they're not allowed to anymore.
And that's always a thing that used to throw me off. Is like I grew up around NASCAR was my sport. It's obviously logos everywhere, and it threw me off where a lot of other sports where I was like, why don't they sell the real estate of themselves? And I saw UFC, and I'm like, they do. Lesnar wearing the Jimmy Johns, and
those spots each had a different price.
Yeah, I believe
on their pants for
I believe they probably kind of took the NASCAR mindset of that. Like, okay, the hood's worth this much
branding,
money, the quarter panel's worth that much, and it's real life. It's like IndyCar. Is struggling as a racing organization because they don't have the brand awareness. It's like, who's ever heard of Steak and Shake? Like that's one of the top sponsors in IndyCar, but they don't even exist in California. It's like they come to California to Auto Club Speedway or Long Beach, and he's sponsored by Steak and Shake, and you're like,
and there's no relevance. There's no relevance here.
What's that other fucking part of Carl's?
Hardee's.
I was like, what the fuck is a Hardee's?
I'm gonna run out of battery life here.
All right, let's do this quiz. Come on.
Oh shit! Yeah, we were talking about the quiz. All right. So, how much time are we into this thing, man?
Hour and 6 minutes.
Jeez.
Yeah, we're gonna finish this up.
We got to get into this. Okay. Let me get the timer open here.
That you can't see.
Wife's already pissed. Hey, I just want to say thank you, Laura, for allowing me to come out and do this stuff.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it.
She's doll.
It's really the wives, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we really have to thank them for letting us do this shit. Especially, I'm going to give a big shout out to Camille.
Oh, yeah.
Let me hear it, Pat. Let me hear a double on that, and amen, and a praise God.
Oh, amen, man.
A praise Jesus, because she's a monster for letting this happen.
Producer Matt he lives in Corona, right? And we live
First off, he lives in bumfuck Corona.
We both live in Orange County.
Beautiful home.
Right.
It's just in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Yeah, we both live in Orange County.
There's a lot of stuff around me, okay? It's not nowhere.
He's got a TAPS, okay?
There's some cows over there, and then
so he's got to drive to us to do these things, and for all, I mean, honest God, the table, the microphones, everything. All of it, the lights, it all comes from metal. Sprinklers just turned on out here because I'm watering my lawn that last guest Will didn't like.
Let's do this quiz. Come on.
So, all right, are you ready for our pop quiz trivia? 0 to 60 challenge. Top score right now is a 4 out of 10.
I'm gonna try.
Speed is the thing here. You have 1 minute on the clock. Are you ready?
I guess.
All right, here we go. What is the current engine size in liters of a Toyota Prius?
4.1.
No. How many episodes of Doug were made in total?
62.
No. What was the budget of the original Fast and Furious movie?
10 million.
No. How many employees does Jack Daniels have?
42.
No. In what year did Toyota enter the U.S. market?
Oh shit. 76.
No. NASCAR is claimed to have been created as a place for people to race their cars that were built to run what kind of whiskey?
Oh, that was moonshine.
Yes. What is the proof of the highest proof whiskey on Earth?
190.
Close. No. How old is Jason Statham?
Fuck. 46.
Close. How many races did Toyota win in Formula One?
0.
Yes. What is the best-selling beer in Japan?
I'm gonna say Coors.
No. Asahi.
I was gonna say something Asian.
You're wasting time.
No, it's fine. It's over. That's all 10.
I got 2.
You did. You got 2. You are third.
You're smack
You are on
dab
the
in the
podium,
middle of that
right in the
board.
middle of that thing. So
What the fuck? That was hard.
it was hard. I put a lot of numbers in
What's
there.
the leader of what's the Prius engine?
1.8.
What did I say?
4 point something.
It's like a V8.
There you go. Right in the middle. Right on the podium. Top
It catches you off guard. I didn't. I knew it was 1.8. Mine's 1.8. Go over those answers with me real quick. Let's
All right,
do this.
Here we go. All right, here we go. What is the current engine size in liters?
Hold on. I want to point out that it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4.
You're right. I was hoping that was going to happen, and then it happened. What is the current engine
That's
size
why I did that on purpose. I actually
okay,
knew all
cool.
those answers.
Yeah.
in liters of a Prius? 1.8.
Okay, 1.8.
How many episodes of Doug were made in total? 117.
Oh no shit.
Yeah,
Wow.
I counted the Disney ones. What was the budget for the original Fast and Furious? $38 million.
I said 10.
I believe
That
it.
was close.
Can you? No, I can't. Right? Like
They destroyed like 7 Chargers.
140
Yeah.
miles per hour. I need NOS. Give me 2 of them. Like what?
I need NOS. And you know what? Make it 2.
All right, keep going. What else?
How many employees does Jack Daniels have? 368.
Okay, next.
What year did Toyota enter the U.S. market? 1957 with the Toyota Crown, which was a pickup truck.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's a lot longer ago than I thought. I figured it would have probably been the early 70s.
I was going to say
think
73.
I think I said 72. Wasn't that my
Pretty-
answer? 'Cause
something like
wasn't
that.
72 was when they put in that horsepower ban, right, or whatever?
I think that was like 70.
Well, no, it was the gas mileage crisis started
Yeah, there was the
right
gas
around.
crisis in around 74,
Yeah.
which really started neutering cars bad. But
and
yeah,
that's when Toyota showed up like, hey.
Yeah, Toyota was not big in the 50s. Like, I don't
They
know.
were a fucking loom. They started as a loom company. Did you know
Yeah.
that? And they still are a very, very successful loom company.
Toyota's just a branch of the Toyota with a D
Yep.
company.
His name is
Go for it.
Toyota.
Frederick.
No. Akio Toyota.
Akio, okay.
He's the president right now of the company.
What is the proof of the highest proof whiskey? Oh, you got the moonshine one right. Created
No.
for people to race.
But what was the proof?
Well, the proof was 184.
Oh, you were so close.
I thought 190 was the 190 would be 95 proof.
But I think it's a grain alcohol. It's not a whiskey.
Oh, whiskey was that's the key.
Yeah.
I was thinking highest proof.
It's
period.
called Brewy Chaladik X4 quadrupled whiskey.
Well, they make White Lightning. That's 190 proof. Well, have you seen that beer, the most powerful beer on the world? And it's like 160 proof. Like if you drink the whole beer, you'll die.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like
That's
this one's
ridiculous.
the highest proof one that claims to be a whiskey. There's like grain alcohols and
They
shit. So.
fucking worded like
Yeah.
All right,
How old
next.
is Jason Statham? 48.
What did I say?
46.
I was close,
You were.
man.
You were real close on these. Toyota did win 0 races in
Yeah.
Formula One over 8 years.
Yeah.
The best-selling beer in Japan is Asahi.
I thought that was a trick question. I was gonna say Sapporo or
Yeah.
Asahi,
Uh-huh.
and then I was like, no, it's got to be an American beer. Like I was like,
I don't think I do trick questions, but hey, man, right in the middle, like that's
I want to
solid.
fucking retest, dude. I want to come on this and just do a retest.
No. No, that's not happening. Maybe down the road.
You only get a retest if you get 0. That was the rule from episode 3 that we've decided.
So Lauren gets a retest.
She did twice and she failed all 3 times.
What's the fucking point of putting my number on the board if I can't try to improve it?
What? Because it's a leaderboard, man. Like people were trying to place.
Okay,
on
so
it.
you put the leaderboard up in NASCAR. You can't fucking try to improve your
not
your
if you've
time?
already qualified.
He's sitting on top of the pole right now, and that is in no way, shape, or form in reference to his sexual orientation.
So third though, I mean that's strong. You might be on the podium for a while. I mean I've been thinking about what we're gonna do.
Well, it's bullshit. If you're gonna re-engineer the whole type of like question frame, then everybody that's already been on should get a chance.
I didn't re-engineer shit.
I'm just saying, no. If you're going to, if you're gonna make the questions easier for your guests.
They're catered towards the individual person.
None of those were catered towards me.
Toyota.
Okay.
And whiskey, kind of. So like,
never said where I worked.
So I think what I'm gonna probably do.
I've never said that I work for Toyota. I've mentioned Toyota cars.
Well, now you did.
I think that what we're gonna do is at the end of the year, we're probably going to have a showdown.
I'll do it.
And I think we're gonna probably try to get the top 3 in here.
I don't give a fuck.
And we'll probably give the winner a growler, second place a 40 of malt liquor, and the third just like a bottle of beer. So you're gonna get something.
I'll do it.
So hopefully you stay in that top 3. I mean, at 2, I mean that's pretty good. I mean, you got 1 below you with Sean. Lauren got 0 out of 30. We gave her 2 extra question things.
How come I didn't get more questions?
Because she got 0.
The rule is if you get 0,
you get to keep going.
You get to try again.
Still got 0?
She still got 0. Sorry, Lauren. Lauren's one of my best friends. I've known Lauren for a long time. I wouldn't know my wife if it wasn't for Lauren.
That is how NASCAR started, though. It was for the fucking...
Through Lauren?
No, through the fucking whiskey running.
Oh, yeah, it is. I say alleged because
Moonshine.
I think it's a whole lot of bullshit, personally, right? Because Prohibition ended in what, 1927 or something?
32.
Yeah.
Something like that.
32.
NASCAR didn't begin as an organization until 1948.
So that was the idea.
Okay, but that's a lot of years later. If it's 32, that's 16 years later.
29 or 32?
Either way, let's just say it's 32. That's still 16 years later.
I want to say it was 32.
The fact that they still had these Moonshine Runner cars 16 years later, bullshit. NASCAR came about because a bunch of rednecks don't know how to admit defeat, and they want to be like, yeah, I had beer, but this wasn't a legitimate race. Let's go to the track.
33.
33. I said 32 or 33.
You have to remember
15 years later.
So
bullshit.
In one of my classes I had to learn,
nobody drinks the Moonshine.
Nobody likes the tuna here. I had to learn all of the amendments, and the only amendments I remember was the 8th Amendment, which was cruel and unusual punishment. And because our teacher described it like, I always pictured to remember the 8th Amendment like somebody carving an 8 on your back as like torture. And
that's good.
And that was cruel and unusual punishment.
That's a solid memory cue.
And so that made me remember it. And then also the 19th Amendment was banning alcohol because the year was 1919. So 1919, the 19th Amendment, they banned alcohol.
Oh, okay.
But those are the only 2 I remember.
I like to picture Jesus as being the lead singer at like a Lynyrd Skynyrd concert, and I'm in the front row, and I'm hammered drunk. And they're singing songs about my life. He's got an angel band. And, you know...
Where did that come from?
I'm just saying, because he's like said, I like to remember these amendments.
Oh, all right.
That was only 2 amendments.
I like to picture Jesus as like a bum, like a dirty bum, and I'm about to sock him one, you know, because he's a dirty bum. But then I think, no, there's something special about this bum.
Do you follow Casual Jesus on Instagram?
No.
Okay,
What?
you fucking need to. Look it up right now. Casual Jesus. I started following this dude. It's fucking hilarious. Are you pulling it up?
I'm working on it.
I'll look over here and look at this.
That one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Welcome to Awkward Silence.
No, we're talking. But like, you gotta read his caption.
AwkwardSilence.net, where you can find all of our merchandise.
So
and
here's Jesus with some blue angels above him.
You gotta read the caption.
I get it.
Some hashtag angels are hashtag white, some are hashtag black. But my favorite angels are blue angels. God bless America. Seafair 2015, Halo made of fighter jets, Navy America.
No, keep going to the next. Keep going to him.
Kicking this one straight to heaven, hoping there is angels in the outfield. Thanks team for the MVP Most Valuable Prophet Award. And bigs up to the Seatown sinners for losing gracefully. Hashtag cat butt. Hashtag spirit fingers. Hashtag gasworks. He's sitting here playing kickball against a cat.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I'm telling you, man, Casual Jesus is one of the funniest fucking
That's
things.
amazing.
I don't know what. I think I saw it on Imager, and I was like, wait a minute.
Oh, these are strong.
Hold on, let me.
These remind me of cereal in the Dragon Knights Car Club. This looks like cereal. He
says that JC stands for just chillin'. That's what.
I went back to hashtag heaven for the hashtag freaking weekend, kicking it Christ style with
Kicking it Christ
Zarpin Intergalactic, aka my brother from another mother, BFF, Ancient Aliens, UFO. Party time.
I love this one too. It's him jumping into a lake, and you have to understand something, Matt. In all of these shots, he's wearing like a white toga with a sash, and he looks like Jesus.
It's strong.
So it's like this quote, he's jumping into a lake and says, I forgot about the whole hashtag walk on water thing, and immediately hashtag both ankles on impact. If I hashtag jumped from a cliff, would you follow? What would Jesus Christ do?
I like his tags in these too. Like this one is eat my linens, heaven, golf, driving, hell, devil, Satan. Like, all right, I'm in. That like casual Jesus is where it's at. So
yeah. Did you see how many followers he has?
No, I didn't.
13,000 followers.
Jesus. Oh my gosh. So I'm my goal, like my criteria for getting people on the show, right? My goals in life is the more Instagram followers you have, the more I want you on this show.
Exactly.
I went to high school with this girl who's a model now. And I'm only talking about this because my wife walked out of the room.
Bold, strong.
So they were not friends in high school. I guess they become kind of friends now, but
isn't that funny?
Isn't it weird?
How like you grow up and shit.
She was a cheerleader at the time, and then she became a monster girl.
What high school did you go to?
El Medina.
Elmo. Wait.
Yeah.
Bromodina.
Where everybody dies every year.
Wait. My mom went to Elmo.
Really?
What was the chick's name?
Caitlin. She was a monster girl. She's graduated the same year. I think the year after me. I think 2005 or so. No, 2007. I was 2006. I think she was 2007. She has like 300,000 followers on Instagram.
Huh.
Just because she's really hot. Okay. She'd be great to have on here. I went to high school with a girl who's Moon Eyes. I don't know if you know the company Moon Eyes, but they made the Moon Disc wheels for like land speed cars, like the solid looking wheel. Moon Eyes is a really big company in the hot rod industry. I went to high school with a girl who's on their their catalog. I need to get her on the show. She'd be fun to talk to. She's really into hot rods and stuff. It's funny how like you go to high school with these people, and like I never interacted with either of them, but now I would love to have them on my podcast.
There you go.
You know, so
something to look at.
Emily or Caitlin, if you're listening to this, I can't pay you anything. I can pay you in beer. Caitlin probably charges for her appearances. I can't pay you. So if you'd like to be on the show,
pay you in beer and good conversation.
Good vibes.
And beer, decent conversation. Jake might be here. You know, he's fun to talk to. Matt's fun to talk to. But you know, if you're ever in the area and you want to just hang out, drink some beer, you can come do that on Growler Garage. Are we still like recording? This is
unfortunately.
Oh dang. Okay. So we're running out of time. I gotta pee real bad.
End it.
So we're gonna end it. GrowlerGarage.net is the website where you can find everything there is to know about Growler Garage, our merchandise, our shirts. We've got new shirts that say grabbing gears and that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
grabbing queers
and and shifting steers.
No, that's wrong. That's incorrect.
Bullshit, asshole! I bet you could suck a golf ball through a garden hose.
Grabbing gears and drinking beers, or drinking beers and grabbing gears. The order doesn't matter.
If God wanted you over that wall, He would have miracled your ass by now.
So we got a lot of shirts.
Have you ever seen Full Metal Jacket?
Nope.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, I have actually. But we got our what is it? What is this? A glass.
It's a pint glass.
A pint glass. We got those. I want to thank Taps for once again providing the beer. They didn't provide it. I bought it. But still, thank you for that.
Nothing was provided. It was purchased.
Our TV shut off, so that's perfect. That's fine.
Hey, it's like it was meant to be.
You know, and that's the end of it. GrowlerGarage.net. Find us on Twitter, Growler Garage OC. Facebook, Growler Garage. What else? We're on podcast. iTunes. We're on Stitcher. I gotta pee real bad.
Thanks for having me on, dude.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm not gonna lie, I really appreciate it. I thought it was fun. Got a little conversation in there, and
make sure if you haven't already, make sure to check out Whiskey Babble.
Yeah, Whiskey Babble.
WhiskeyBabble.com is where you want to go. Jake, it's funny because if you look at the first episode that I was on of Whiskey Babble, which I think was episode 3. Jake and I did not know each other very well at that point.
Not at all.
So we've become friends via podcasts.
Yeah, it's really funny.
So you can see our friendship.
We didn't have a guest. We did not have a guest, and Matt was like, "I got a guy," and I was like, "Okay, cool. What's he do?" He professionally races go-karts. I was like, "What the fuck?" Yeah. All right, sign me up.
Like real life. So like that's what happened. And our friend, you can see our friendship progress. Roku's back.
Well, it momentarily flashed the logo.
Oh, that's cool. Then, so we can watch our friendship progress via Whiskey Babble and now on Growler Garage, and we've become the best of friends.
Yeah,
and it's great. And we're going to if you want to come back Friday, we're having a birthday party for one of our friends here on Friday. Bring your wife. if you'd like to come hang out on Friday, I'm going to get my Margaritaville going. You've seen that. So by all means, don't feel obligated. But if you'd like to come by on Friday to celebrate my friend Ashley, you know Ashley.
Yeah.
She was a guest. If you'd like to celebrate her birthday here on Friday, both of you guys, I know Matt can't come because he has school.
Yeah.
But if you'd like to stop by after
I
school.
probably have school too. I'm in finals week right now.
If you don't though, feel free to swing on by.
I'll let you know.
We're having a little birthday party here at the Growler Garage Studios. Probably do some burnouts with the Charjoba, the Coke Runner Charjoba. But thank you guys for tuning in. We got a lot of subscribers, which is super cool on iTunes. And like I've said a lot of times, this is just fun for me. And anybody who's listening to it, it's just it's super cool that people want to listen to what we're talking about.
Thanks for wasting your time with us.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
We're wasting an hour of your time each week. Listen to us on your drive to work.
You want to waste more time?
That car
go to
has the brightest
whiskeyBabble.com.
headlights ever. Like we recorded this with like garage half open, and this car just rolled up with like
HIDs make the car go faster.
Like right,
That's
like
what I heard.
Speed of light increases with HIDs.
That's what I heard.
We're gonna end it because I really got to go to the bathroom. I want to apologize to my parents because I'm sure I offended them in some way with this episode. I'd like to apologize to Matt's parents because I know I offended them.
How do we offend people in this episode?
I don't know. I always do. It's fine. I just like to get
not hard. I
want I want Chuck to be a guest on this episode at some point. Matt's dad. I'd love for Roberta to be a guest on the show at some point. Yaya, as I call her, it'd be great to have her as a guest. I'd love to have all of them.
Hitler was framed.
Oh, okay. That went in a different direction. I'm just saying, like, maybe it's the beer talking, but Matt's family is like my second family, and
when I get drunk, I start to get real lovey-dovey on the show.
I do. I love people, and that's the bottom line of it. Is I love anybody who's listening to this. I love you guys. Matt took his headphones off.
All right, go pee.
He's walking away.
You do babble a lot at the end of the podcast.
It's
Just put
I have a
fork in
lot
it.
that I like to get out.
Put a fork in it. It's done.
I like people. All right. Thank you for listening to this because I love you. If you come to my house and say Growler Garage, I will either flare your fenders with a baseball bat or I will adjust your seating position so that it's proper for a driver. You tell me which. If I like you, I will do both. So thank you for listening to Growler Garage.
Bye-bye. 10 more things.